Hey guys, welcome back to AF Farms for another episode of our No Man's Land series. So it is now June. We've been quite busy. We've done a fair bit of planting, a few other additions to the farm which I'll show you shortly. So what I'll do quickly is I'll just show you what we've planted. So we've got I've got a barley harvest underway. Got a barley harvest underway up here. We have got oats on the go over to the right here. This field here is just in preparation for something. Over here we've got sorghum, wheat, canola, and then we've got a patch of soybeans. So they're going to be all due to harvest next month, it looks like, or pretty close to. So first job for this morning is to go ahead and unload our if I can get into this truck I want to get into. So we've got a harvester on the go in the barley field. So we're just going to go and unload so he can continue on, and then we'll go and have a look at some of the changes to the farm. So June being summer, so basically middle of summer at the moment. The map is looking a little bit different. We'll get this guy turned on. Motor running. So he should unload for us. Yep, excellent. So yeah, like I said, quite a few changes to the map. While he's doing that, we'll have a look. So what's the plan moving forward? So olives. So it's the last month I can plant olives, and what I'm thinking I'm going to do is get rid of my grapes. So as you can see here, they're withered. They have this sort of yellow look to them. I don't think I'm going to do grape harvesting again. And if we just jump into the build mode quickly so I can quickly show you. You can see the olive grove doesn't wither. It just remains tree-like throughout the year. So it's visually, it just looks better for the farm. So what I'm thinking, if we go over here to our other patch of olives, the ones that we actually harvested. So you can see this section here has been harvested, but it still looks the same as basically the unharvested section. So from a visual point of view, I'm thinking just to have olives all the way around the homestead area rather than yellow withered grapes. Basically because there is so much work involved with the grapes, I don't think it's going to be palatable for me to, and obviously the time investment as well. I just don't think it's worthwhile. So I'm going to probably delete those grapevines, put olives in instead. A little bit of cost lost, but you know that's just how we're playing at the moment. But we do have a strategy to get our income back up to the 18 million that we did have before we did the big expansion and spent a lot of money. So that's where we're going to go and have a look at next. So we'll just get this barley unloaded. Great. Alright, we'll go jump in the pickup, which I believe I left over here. There we go. Alright, so let's go for a quick drive out the back here first. So I just want to show you. So we've talked about the green wall. So these are just here as... So they serve two functions. So they're there to divide the fields, which prevent the machines from overrunning into other fields, and also provide a bit of a separation for the farm areas rather than just being big open fields. which I've got I've got one here obviously in front of me, but moving down the back here just gives a nice sort of visual look to the map. When the seasons change, it also looks quite good. I've started adding these borders, so little headland rows which are not farmable, so this is just to help the machines turn around. And you can see they sort of separate, because I had issues where these fields were getting run into by equipment overplanting and overseeding, so I want to try and avoid that as much as possible. I've added this long headland strip here, so you can see it all the way down. That goes all the way down to the bottom of the map, with the poplars, American elms, old shagbark hickory, which is this one here, and then the old downy serviceberry, pagoda dagwoods, and then just various shrubs. So just to sort of give the map that thick, lush forest look. And that's going to continue all the way around the map. So I need quite a bit of money to be able to do that. So I've put in a solar farm. So we'll go and have a look at that now. But just on the way through, I wanted to show you that these green rolling hills, I've gotten rid of all the forest ground texture. So they were the brown patches in the grass. So I've painted them with the grass texture, and then I've gone over it with the meadow texture, which is basically what you can see here, the flowers and the grass, and then you can see the actual undergrass. If I crouch down, you can see the grass texture underneath, so just gives it that more of a rolling hill look. This little section here where it's a bit dipped, I've smoothed it, so I'm probably going to go back and smooth it some more, because it had a cliff there, so the rocky sort of cliff texture. So this is our barley underway. Got our colossus, getting through that nice and quickly. So the plan is this is going to be trees all the way along the right here, so I'm going to plant this out like a huge garden. But like I said, obviously you're going to have to pay for that somehow, so I've put in a solar farm, or at least the start of a solar farm. So you'll see it coming up here into view now. So we'll just drive around the perimeter first of all. So I've gone with the large solar collectors, the chain link fence, and a little bit of a sort of entry area here, but I'll just do a quick lap just to show you what I've come up with. So the plan is this whole area is going to be solar arrays and solar panels. So because it's a triangular block, it's best use of space to use the solar collectors, because I can space them out to fill this area. And then also, when we drive back around, that field adjacent has been sort of shortened a little bit, which is good, because the triangular fields are a little bit harder to seed for the AI workers and stuff, so I may have to make this headland a little bit bigger, but it's basically just reduced this field. So we're talking about this field here, still quite big, but obviously just that little bit smaller, so it's going to increase the speed of farming. So let's sort of go through what we've done here. So we've got a chain link gate and fence. So this is a mod. So this is the 12-meter central sliding gate, so it slides from the middle. Pretty cool. If we drive on in, we've got 2 car spaces, so this is also a mod. So this painted line texture. So let's turn the car off. So just to give it a bit of a parking bay look. Got a manhole cover, so this is a square manhole cover. So this could be for plumbing, electrical, stormwater, that type of thing. We've got a little guardhouse. So this is the guardhouse mod. So inside it's just essentially, it should be sort of near the entry, but what I'm thinking is I'm going to put a boom gate off of the side here, and then have an entry and then have a little driveway, gravel driveway to loop around the solar park to act like a service road. What else we got? So we've got the substation. So this is a decoration mod as well. So it looks like a plumbing sort of electrical sort of substation. Yeah, do not enter signs. High voltage panel here. So obviously being a solar farm, we're dealing with electricity, so it kind of makes sense. And then around the side here, we've just got a decorative shed. So this is just a small container, you know, store equipment, whatever you might want to do. That's kind of linked to this area here. And then obviously we've got our solar panels. So I've done a video on the large solar collector, what sort of return on investment they give. So my calculations is it takes about 2.25 in-game years if you're playing with 1 month, 1 day, months on. So obviously you can have your month be 1 day up to 28 days. So I just do it by the month, 1 day months, just to sort of speed up the gameplay loop a little bit. But it'll take two years in game roughly to pay one of these off, and they're about 93,500 each, and they kind of return about 40% of what they say they do overall. So I think it's around, they say it's around 8,000 per month they'll generate an income per panel, but what you find is you probably get about 3,000 on average. So some months are higher. Obviously in summer it does better than in winter because there's more sunlight, but it does vary throughout the year, so just be aware of that. And I also went the large solar collector because if we just zoom out into the build mode, it just easier to fill up a triangular space with those panels rather than the large solar park mod, which I've did a separate video on. So it's just, I just thought, I've got this area here that I'm not using. I want it to be away from the main farm, but I didn't want to cut into this field here too much. Because this field's nice and flat, it'd be great for any future building that I ever want to put out here. So if I'm going to put animals or, you know, other buildings, and to a lesser extent this field here, but it did have a little bit of hilly terrain, so especially in the middle here. You can see we've got a bit of a hill. So I've just got a nice, good flat pad there for farming and for future builds if needed. But yeah, that's basically the solar farm. So plan is to fill this up with solar panels, put in a little bit of a service road, so just to make it look a little bit more realistic. And then possibly might put a little fence in around this concrete pad to separate the substation from the actual drive, the drive route. So if we go into the build mode, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if we go into fences, so I'll show you the chain link fence. Actually, here's the boom gate. So these are the little barrier gates. So I'm thinking I'll have one here, and then where I'm standing, there'll basically be a little gravel road that loops around the facility, so we can service the solar panels. The other thing is chain link fence 6 meter. So this is the actual fence we used in the build, so you can see that there. So that's a mod, and then we've got the sliding gate there, which is pretty cool. Also comes in a 6 meter left sliding and 6 meter right sliding. Concrete curbs. So I haven't used, that's just a concrete curb. Nothing too special there. Another decorative element, but yeah. Oh, and then also we've got this little bin. So this is just a recycling bin. I've just added that there because it looked cool. But yeah, and then obviously we've got the, what else have we got? We've got the electrical box. So this is just that's our gate again. I'll open that back up. That's just a power board, sort of substation electrical panel. And then we've got the weather station sort of just hanging out here, so being a solar park, having a weather station makes sense. And it also gives us better forecasting in-game for weather, so it does actually serve a in-game purpose. But yeah, this is pretty much just a decorative area that's it's not very functional. It doesn't really do anything. It's just there for the looks and kind of that trying to get that authentic solar farm sort of feel. And obviously we've got this floodlight too, which is a genuine base game item, which is available to everyone. But yeah, that's basically the solar farm. So that's going to build out over time as I build and put more panels in, and obviously that's going to supplement the wind farm, which you can see up there, which I've got about, I think, 7 to 10 of those wind turbines up on the back of the hill. And once again, they don't make a huge amount of money, but once they're paid off and everything's paid for, it'll start generating a positive return, and we'll be boosting our cash flow quite a bit to help us with additional landscaping projects. So we'll leave it there for this video. I hope you like the solar park. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments if you've done something similar, or yeah, any comments or feedback. Happy to have that discussion. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.